The Hifiman HE600. Let's talk about it. This is a $800 headphone sent out to me by Hifiman Direct. Let's start by looking at the build quality of this headphone. The stock ear pads are pretty nice. They do touch my ears a little bit on the top and on the bottom, just a tiny bit. They are comfortable, but it might bother some people, so it is something to note. They're kind of suede on the outside, leatherette around, and so they're nice pads, but some people might find them uncomfortable, but I find them okay, but it doesn't have as much ear space as their egg-shaped headphones. The headphone itself, to put on my head, I have to put it almost the largest setting, and like when you put it on, it's a little bit of a challenge to kind of get it over. Like the strap kind of hits first, and you kind of have to parachute it down very slightly. But it's an overall nice, comfortable headphone. But I can think of people that have really large heads or maybe lots of hair. This might be a hard fit for people. On the top of this headphone, you do have kind of this nice leather. It feels really good on my head. I like this leather. It looks and feels premium. It's nice. I like the bespoke black look to this as well. The back has a nice grate to it. It kind of has a nice honeycomb style look to it. It looks and feels durable, like it'll last forever. Like if I happen to drop it or someone, it somehow fell off my desk, it wouldn't have any problems and it would be durable and last me a long time. I love that about this headphone, and I feel the durability and overall build quality of this headphone is extremely strong. The cable, on the other hand, is kind of a generic cable. It's not super exciting. You have stereo indicators with an R and L on this, and it's a fine cable, but not super exciting. You can pull this off, and it can have a 3.5 termination on this cable as well. It has a little cable cinch as well with it, although it's easy to fall off and come off, and it's not too exciting, but it's a fine cable, but not an exciting cable in this space. This is the cable of the FIO FT13, which is a $300 headphone, and I find this cable a little bit more exciting. It also does include a little stand. You'll see here that it's on right now. Again, nothing too exciting, but the stand is kind of a nice addition for people that don't have their own custom stand. It can kind of help protect your headphone and have it a place for it to rest. So to summarize the unboxing experience, it is overall not bad. We have some production photos from Hifiman, and I wanted to share those with you. And so these are not my photos, but I do find the unboxing experience fair, but kind of Spartan, a little bit utilitarian in comparison to other brands like FIO. If an unboxing experience is important for you, then the Hifiman experience is not going to be great, but the headband I do find to be extremely comfortable. I did not like the Hifiman Edition XS, and I found this headphone to be much better. I find it drivability to be pretty easy. I tried it on some dongles and I didn't have any problems with it. As far as the bass goes, I find it is clean, linear, but nothing too exciting, but it's nice. I will recommend a little bit EQ with a little bit of a slight tactful bass head notion with it. And this headphone does take EQ well. It has a rich texture that is enjoyable and fun, but not for those that need a Harman style bass bump to it. Overall, I would kind of give the bass kind of a middling score, maybe like an 8 out of 10. It is nice, it is strong, it is really good, but it is not perfect by any stretch of any imagination. The mid-range can be slightly spicy for some people. I do find the mid-range to be fair and nice, but I did notice a very slight bit of shoutiness on some things. It just can get some extra pronounced vocals come across a little bit shouty and overly pronounced, but in all, I would say it's a very rare occurrence and doesn't happen frequently. I feel like this is a very strong mid-range, and I feel like sometimes it's nice to have something that kind of touches the sun and goes a little bit in that direction to kind of make vocals pop and be pronounced, and it gives a more intimate feel for the sound and the music. To me, it's perfect. It's delightful. It's balanced, but it does touch the sky for some people that are kind of that mid-range focused. It's kind of around like a 3K peak. The treble for me is the star of this show, and it's very clear, it's very fun, it's very clean, it's naturally done so and very buttery, but as not as a over excessive volume. To me, the treble is really nice, and I really enjoy it, and I find that to be something about this headphone that I fully enjoy. As far as music genres go, I find that like instrumentals do really, really well on this. Most music does well, but with hip hop and some EDM, it does lack a little bit of that fun bite. It doesn't really have that note weight and that kind of punchiness that you might get from a headphone with a little bit more bass. I will be sharing with you guys an EQ. And this is hard. This is a very nutty year for headphone releases. A couple other guys were talking about it on some of the forums, and like this is kind of a funny time of year. So we're going to try to do some comparisons with graphs, and I do not have my own rig to measure headphones, so I'll be borrowing some other people's measurements. I will be trying to rectify that. All right, this is the graph of the Hifiman HE600. It's kind of hard to tell too much on this, but this is a fairly accurate reading of it. We're going to do some comparisons, and we're not trying to say that every rig measures differently, but we're mainly looking at the comparisons of these. The big comparison that we have, and I just reviewed this headphone not too long ago, the Hifiman Edition XV. Now, the way that these differ is you'll notice a few things here in the mid-treble. The green line, the Hifiman Edition XS, which is a cheaper headphone at around $400, has a little bit less of that 1K region, a little bit of a scoop there, and a little bit of a boost in this kind of lower mid-range region, a couple kind of ripples, which kind of gives some of the textures and the voices a little bit of texture and richness. It's kind of nice. Well, you'll notice that it is a little bit dark in this 4 to 5K region. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think for some people that are treble sensitive, the Edition XV might be the better one for you. The 600 can kind of reach the sky a little bit and be a little bit excessive and extra. I also find the comfort of the Edition XV better as well. Comfort is subjective, but I feel build quality wise is very similar, and having said that, I do feel they are both very strong candidates and comfortable and nice. But having said that, the XV for me and for my ears, like they don't touch my ears, and that can kind of bother me. But if you're used to wearing lots of headphones, I would kind of think that the HE600 would not bother you. I want to look at a few other people's. This is Audio Amigo's graph. His rig isn't too exciting. It's kind of the same kind of style rig that I will be getting for mine. But this is kind of something to look at. The XS versus the XV. Now, what you'll notice is that the XV is kind of the darkest and has a little bit less of that upper mids. The XS has a little bit more upper mids, but a little bit more extra 4 to 5K energy, a little bit more of that 8K energy. Like the XS is still a great headphone, and for people that aren't sensitive to treble and want an exciting listen, I would really suggest the XS as something. Like when I got the XS, I really liked it, but there was something about it that fatigued me, and I didn't understand that for a while. So for people that can be treble sensitive, I would say that the HE600 would be a really good bet. And like the XV is something that if you're really treble sensitive, you know it, and you want something that's very smooth and almost dull, the XV would probably be a stronger bet. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to like the XV better. I personally think the HE600 is better because I think the treble is like perfectly in my wheelhouse and really fun. But I can see how one person would like one or the other. There are a lot of other headphones that I want to share with you that are cheaper. Like there are some great wireless headphones that do kind of fix the problem of the HE600 for me and do have a nice bass shelf, like something like the HyperX Cloud Wireless S or something like even the Odyssey Maxwell. They both have really nice bass shelves. I don't think they're as pristine and clean as something like the HE600, but they are very nice headphones for a lot cheaper. I just kind of want to show you that here on Gadgetry Tech's rig. Like those are both two really nice headphones if you guys are looking to save money and with some wireless sets. We're kind of blessed in a land where you do get stuff like, for a while, it's only the Maxwell. But the HyperX Cloud S is a nice one because it has a really nice bass shelf. I'm going to show you a little bit how to EQ a bass shelf here and there in a bit. There are other headphones out this year. We talked a little bit about the FT13, and if we want to take a look at that now, that's this one in teal. It has a kind of a nice bumpy bass shelf, but it also has some spikes up here and some kind of darkness in the treble that people may not like. Another one that's really comparable in price is the FiiO FT7. Now, I like the FiiO FT7, and I owned it for a while. I didn't review it. But like the thing with the FT7, I think the problem with it is it does have some spikes, like this little bit of a spike around 4K, this little bit of spike around 8K. And it's kind of a little bit too exciting. It's also fit isn't as good. You might like the FiiO FT7 better, as it's a very pretty headphone, but for me, comfort is massively better on the HE600, and it's a little bit more tame in the treble and just kind of that buttery perfection for me. There's also a lot of other headphones we've been blessed with this year. We have the Hifiman Edition 550. I really like the 550. I find the mid-range a little bit more clean and clear. Its mid-range is perfect, but its upper treble isn't as fun, engaging, or smooth, or detailed as the HE600, but it's close. It's kind of a lighter headphone, a little bit more chintzy looking, but also nicer and a lot cheaper. It's almost like, it's like $300, I want to say. Another head, like open back or closed back they have is the HC520. It's another favorite of mine. It does have a nice bass boost. It doesn't have the nearly as fine-grained detail and treble, but it's a nice headphone and not bad overall. As far as like what I would do to EQ this, I would just add a little bit of a bass shelf to these lower hertz, and I'm going to show that to you now. All it would be is just this EQ right now, or just a very tiny bit, just at 50 hertz and at 10 hertz, we just add a little bit of a bass shelf, a little bit at these values, and I think you're going to find a nice little bit of a thumpy bass, but not so much that it's going to drown out the rest of your music. This headphone doesn't really need EQ, but a lot of people will enjoy this on certain genres of music. So this is my headphone ghetto ranking list. I used to rank IEMs this way by star rating, but I just got so many on my list that it was hard to do. I might eventually do headphones this way too, but I think kind of like it with a star rating because it really accounts for value and preference here, more so than anything. I've already talked about some of my favorite headphones, but I just want to show you that like the Hifiman Edition, like HE600, I think is fantastic. I think it's a really great headphone for treble heads. I think it has really, really nice tuning, has really, really nice technical ability, and it's just a really nice overall headphone that I think people are gonna like. Is it perfect? No, it's kind of expensive, and it may not be for everybody from a fit or comfort standpoint. You might prefer something with a little bit more of a bass shelf, but I think it's just an overall fantastic set, and it does really, really well as a competitive headphone in this market. So the Hifiman Edition HE600 is a definite strong headphone. I really enjoy it, and I think it's a really good headphone that people are going to like. But again, it's more for people that want a clean and clear, crisp treble headphone. It's not for people that want a highly colored headphone or something that has a lot of bass to it. Having said that though, for what it is, I think it's a really beautiful, well done headphone, and I recommend it to anybody who's interested in it despite its price. I think it's well done, it's comfortable on my head, it does slightly bother my ears when it's on me, but when I listen to it, I absolutely love it. It's one of those headphones that like, I'm so glad I got it sent to me. And I don't say that, I mean, I'm very grateful for any product that gets sent to me, but like, this is one of those products that I personally would use on a daily basis. It's not something I'm like, yeah, it's okay. To me, this is a really strong headphone, really special. And I've really enjoyed my time with it. If you guys have any questions about this headphone, let me know in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye for now.
Go!
Go!
Go on with you!